Hey, what's up guys? Jed here. Is intermittent fasting a fad? Is it fake? Does it really help you lose weight? If you're curious to know about all that, make sure you stick around. Honestly, I'm really surprised this is even a thing, you know? I'm surprised that a lot of people think that intermittent fasting is fake and that it doesn't work, it's a fad, it's just something that became popular out of nowhere, just like a lot of other stuff. And I'm just here to tell you that that's just not true, you know? Intermittent fasting is not a fad. I think the problem is that a lot of people assume something's a fad because it didn't work for them. So I just want to go over a couple of reasons on why people might think intermittent fasting is a fad. So first, in order for someone to lose weight, you need to make sure that you are in a caloric deficit, okay? Whether or not you are doing intermittent fasting. Okay, I mean really the only thing you'd have to do is just be in a caloric deficit. You don't even have to do intermittent fasting. So you could say that that's one of many reasons on why people might think that intermittent fasting is a fad, is because the reality of it is all you have to do is just make sure that you're in a caloric deficit and you're good to go in terms of weight loss. But the thing is, if that were true, no one should be struggling to lose weight right now. So how intermittent fasting helps here is that it makes your eating window a lot smaller. And so when it's smaller, it's hard for you to really go or be in a caloric surplus. So when you compare let's just say an 8-hour eating window compared to someone who eats the entire day, of course the person who has an 8-hour eating window is going to lose weight because obviously he's not eating the whole entire day. So that's one of the reasons people might think that intermittent fasting is a fad. Another reason people might think that it's a fad is because they think that it's a specific diet where you have to eat certain foods in order to lose weight. And honestly, I have no idea where that came from, but I'm here to tell you that intermittent fasting is not a diet. It's just telling you when to eat and when not to eat. That's it. It doesn't tell you that you can't eat your cereal in the morning. It doesn't tell you that you can't eat fast food. And it doesn't tell you that you can't have snacks from time to time. So again, it's not a diet. So again, guys, you can absolutely have fast food or any other type of food that you enjoy, like sweets or whatever. You can have them. I'm not saying you can't have them at all. It's just the thing is, people don't know how to properly adjust their diet to really fit in these things that they enjoy. So that's why they always make mistakes and they mess up and then they wonder why they're not losing weight. Okay, so I went ahead and did a Google search here on McDonald's. I just chose a random meal. So in this case, the Big Mac meal. And the burger plus the fries and the soda, according to Google, is 1,080 calories. So if you're someone that needed 2,000 calories a day to maintain your weight, that alone right there, if that was your first meal of the day, is 1,080 calories. That's already half of the amount of calories that you need in order to maintain your weight. So if you're someone that likes to eat fast food maybe even more than once in a day, plus the added calories from other places that you got it from, you're always going to be in a caloric surplus, which is not good. But again, if you're smart about it, you know exactly how many calories you had that day, including the fast food. If you make sure that you're in a deficit, you absolutely can continue to eat the foods that you enjoy, which includes fast food and such. And one more reason people might think that intermittent fasting is fake is because they claim that it doesn't work. And once something doesn't work for them, they immediately think that it's just a fad. So a couple of reasons why that might be false is because, number one, they didn't count their calories properly. They probably already broke their fast long ago. They're not really fasting for as long as they should be without even realizing it. And they probably didn't do enough research. So those are just a couple of reasons why people might think intermittent fasting is fake or doesn't work or it's a fad. So let me just briefly explain how intermittent fasting works. Let's use 16-8 as an example. What 16-8 is it's an intermittent fasting schedule where you eat for 8 hours and then you stop eating for 16 hours. You can eat whatever you want, but not how much you want. You gotta make sure that you're in a deficit, like I said, and that's it. If you get those two things correct, you're going to lose weight, period. Because try to think about it like this. When you wake up in the morning, you eat your breakfast, right? So if you ate a good filling breakfast. If it were me, I'm not gonna feel hungry until about 12 to 1 p.m.-ish, if I ate around 9 or 10. So that's about 3 hours in between meals. As you can tell, that's about 2 to 3 hours out of my 8-hour eating window. So now I only have 5 or 6 hours left. And then comes lunch and then dinner. So the main reason I think that intermittent fasting is not a fad diet is because if you try to compare that sort of eating schedule compared to someone who didn't do intermittent fasting, the person who doesn't do intermittent fasting would have an eating schedule that kind of looks like they eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and then they eat something 9 a.m. and then they choose to eat something at 10 a.m. because maybe they want a snack or something, and then they start feeling hungry, then eat something at 11, 12, 1. They're always going to have these feelings of feeling hungry, you know, with no restriction whatsoever in their diet. I'm not saying that this person is you. Not everyone has that sort of I gotta eat 24/7 sort of eating pattern. I'm just saying that most people, especially if they are someone that struggles with losing weight, do eat like this, and it's not good. So that's, you know, one of the big things that people need to change. So that's why I think intermittent fasting is very useful, and why I think it's not a fad. So one thing I can say about intermittent fasting, if you know, maybe yourself might think that it's a fad, is try it out first before assuming that it's a fad. And the reason I say that is because just because it didn't work for someone else doesn't mean it's not gonna work for you, okay? And I'm not saying that there are things out there that do seem fake. I do believe that a lot of things that are being sold and a lot of things that are being put out on websites are a little misinformed and might be misleading you sometimes. But with intermittent fasting specifically, I do think it is very beneficial and has its pros and cons. So again, with intermittent fasting specifically, make sure you try it out for yourself first and try to ignore other people's comments telling you that this is fake because it didn't help me lose weight. This is fake because I felt super hungry, I felt like I was starving, things like that. All right, guys, that's my take on it, on intermittent fasting. Whether it's a fad or not, I don't think so. But at the end of the day, that's just my opinion. Point is, just ignore what other people say about it being a fad and try it out for yourself. Experiment before assuming something doesn't work. All right, guys, that's it for me. And if you are interested in learning more about intermittent fasting, be sure to check out my last video that I made talking about how long it takes to see results when intermittent fasting. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Also, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below letting me know what your take on it is. Is intermittent fasting a fad, or is it legit? And with that said, I will see you guys next time.